Hello, my name is Christoph Witte. I'm a freelance IT journalist, and I'm here in front of the booth of the International Software Architecture Qualification Board on the OOP conference in Munich. And I want to talk to Mischa Soujon. He's working at IBM as a solution architect and doing prototypes and proof of concept for clients from the public area. And he's working in the IBM Watson Center in Munich. And when you know what the Watson Center is, you also know that it is at the forefront of technology. It's working with IoT, artificial intelligence, and what the IBM says, augmented intelligence. So, Mischa, what is your role in the iSAQB?
Hello, my role at the iSAQB is I'm a member of the work group for the foundation level, and with the colleagues in this work group we build the curriculum for the foundation level, so the trainer and training providers knows how to set up the trainings, and we create and review the questions for the certification of the foundation level. So we manage all these things around the certification for the foundation level.
Mm-hmm. And foundation level means that are the basic courses or groundwork courses, or what courses are at foundation level?
Yeah, the foundation level provides, on the foundation level trainings provides information and helps the members or the trainees to learn the basement, what a software architect needs to know. They learn the ground of technologies, the ground of methodologies, and software architects use in this daily work, so they get some hints and tips how to communicate with others in the team, with the business side and the technology side. So they learn a lot of things they need to do their daily job. It provides also a common understanding for all IT and software architects around the world nearly, so that we all speak the same words and have the same meanings and talk in the same languages if we're talking about components, systems, system views, system context, etc. So this is
why should architects go to these courses? Because what I think, architects are very well trained in university and in their jobs. Why should they do this additional trainings?
Yeah, my experience is that software architects, which came from, let's say, an automotive company, and a software architect which comes from an insurance company, or different areas and branches, they have a good understanding of technology and architecture in their areas, but they have to communicate with other architects, with other software developers from other areas, because they have to exchange the information or the experience they have. And to do this really fast and efficiently, they have to have a common language and a common understanding of the basic things. So that's the reason why I really thinking that's really helpful to have these base wordings, these base understandings and knowledge of these ground level of architecture, mm-hmm. software architecture.
You're working at the Watson Center, yeah. And as I said, the Watson Center is at the forefront of modern computing technology. Yes. You're working with artificial intelligence, IoT, augmented reality, and last but not least, the Watson technology we all know from the quiz Jeopardy and other topics. How does your work at an architect differ because of the new technologies you work with?
The most important influence in this is that In the early IT history, we worked on one simple place, and now we have some cloud technologies, and the involving and the development is much faster than it was 10 years ago or 20 years ago. So as an architect, I have to adapt these new technologies to my old knowledge and to bring the new technologies to the, let's say, older data centers of our clients, to the old-fashioned systems they have, and we can't switch it from one day to the other day. So we have to understand how the old stuff is set up, how the old things are working, how these legacy systems, or so-called legacy systems, are working, and how we can, if necessary, how we can transform them or move them, transition them to the new technologies. Sometimes it is not necessary, but this is also something a software architect or an IT architect can understand and can see. So sometimes legacy systems are very fine, so you don't have to do anything, but if you haven't this experience, you can't see this, and you need this experience, and this is also sometimes part of the exchange between architects to know and to understand what has to be changed and adapt the new technologies on, and what can be stable for the next 5-10 years.
Mm-hmm. But new technology-wise, the work is different in the groups. The methods are different, and their agile is conquering the world in the moment.
Yeah, of course.
And what we heard today in the keynote speeches, that there is no real need for architects in agile teams. How do you comment on that?
Yes, the agile methodologies like Scrum or something else, or self-organized teams which are working together and build their systems, their small services around, I will not say microservices, but they small services without a dedicated role of an architect. But they build architectures, and if you have a team with experienced developers, you probably have no one who has an overview of the situation and has a look around at the edge of the corners and at the interfaces between other systems. And if you don't have someone with an experience of an architecture who is architect, which is knowing these stuff, then sometimes it is messed up with this. So my own experience at IBM, for example, if we do some proof of concepts or some prototyping for a client, and we do this with not so experienced people, they build something which works very fine for a demo for 3 months. And then the team leaves or split up, goes away, and the demo is broken. Then it is much more difficult to find the components to repair this or to set it newly up if you don't have built an architecture and documented this architecture. So the role of an architect is not the one and only who decide everything, but he is the one who gets things together and know how to document them and how to name them so that others can understand what's happening. So this is the main role of an architect nowadays, and this is the change between the early days as a waterfall system something
today.
like that. Yeah.
Okay. And how do you reckon come new technologies into trainings? How do they come topics in new trainings? Is there a process, or is that just by chance?
Honestly spoken, it is just by chance, but since the trainers mostly are experienced architects, so-called senior architects or advanced certified architects, they know that they have to learn every day. So they grab the new technologies, they learn by themselves, and they adapt these new technologies, the new methodologies, to the old things they have learned, and they try to find the explanations how to transform from the old things to the new things, or what are the differences, and these goes back into the curriculum partly, but we are talking about foundation, so about the basis, and they don't change as fast. But the knowledge of the architects, which are the trainers often in these schools, gets into these trainings, and sometimes we adapt the curriculum, mostly once or twice a year currently, but we focused on changing the curriculum once a year so that it is mostly stable. But it will be reflected by the architect itself. So.
Okay, thank you very much, Mischa, for this talk. Thanks. And thank you for your time and interest. And please keep in mind, software architects will stay, but maybe they will named differently in the future. Thank you very much.